Hello, everyone. It's Ryan, one of the founders at ChangelogWP. I thought it would be fun to do an objective comparison of the top 8 free WordPress changelog plugins. So these are the plugins that you can find in the WordPress repository, comparing, like I said, the top 8 ranked according to Plugin Tracker IO at the time of this recording. So I'm going to give a quick introduction to our plugin. We're going to activate it first, look at how it adds change logs and styles them. And then one by one, we're going to activate the other plugins, and I'm going to be seeing them for the very first time. So again, this is an objective look. We may find that these other plugins do things better than ours. Ours is completely new to the WordPress ecosystem. So we are still figuring out what features everybody wants. We're not going to be comparing any pro features. We're just going to stay with the free features included with each plugin because our plugin is completely free. Okay, so we're going to have that apples to apples comparison. All right, you can find our plugin over at changelogwp.com. Once you're there, you can click on Changelog Builder, and that will walk you through our plugin as well as our free service where you can easily have people subscribe to your changelogs and then optionally get emails, get notified whenever you update your products. It doesn't have to be a plugin. It could be a theme. It could be even hosting. And we're exploring other options as well. So we are more than just a changelog plugin. All right, so let's go ahead and start with our plugin. Again, all of this is available from the WordPress repo. Our plugin is Changelog as a service. We're going to go ahead and activate that. So we see that no pop-ups or anything. We just see a nice side menu item over here. So we're going to go to settings. We start in the display tab, and this is where you can define what is showing and how you can also style it a little bit, right? So meta information. So this is like tested up the WordPress version, whatever that is, PHP, tested up the PHP requirements, those types of things. Then do you want to show the badges? These are filter badges. So if you want to filter by what's new, by security, by what's fixed, those types of things. There's a search function. So a lot of times you see on websites, people will add a separate search function to their website just to search through changelogs. Ours is built into the actual changelog. Next up is a copy link button. So people can copy a link to a specific area in a changelog and send them to it. We're not talking about just copying a link to the changelog. This is a link to a specific anchor, specific place in those long changelogs. Changelog entries could be long, very long over time. Next up is the ability to show emojis within the filter badges. And then we have a sign up link option, which when clicked, it'll take the user over to our website, ChangelogWP, where our free service allows them to subscribe to the changelogs and get notifications. Again, all of this is optional, as you can see here. And then we've got other options for heading levels, displaying the order, displaying badge styling, what type, rounded, square, and then badge position, and so on and so forth. Over here under our badges section, you can find the prefixes. So what constitutes the new label here? Is the prefix added? You can use added, add, new, or whatever it is that you define, and so on and so forth across these. So you define your prefixes. That works hand in hand with the display label. You can do a color background of your choice on the label, and then optionally use an emoji, and then you have a nice preview here of what that's going to look like. Under how to, we teach you how to add a Gutenberg block. We also teach you how to build your shortcodes if you want to display changelog that way. And then we give you a bunch of developer filters if you want those, and some badge format information, as well as some search and behavior information. Okay, so very easy stuff, nothing complicated. Let's go ahead and look at how we can create a changelog. So we're going to go over here and click Add New Changelog. We're just going to call this changelog. We give you the format example. So you make sure you get this formatting right. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to copy what we have here as an example and use that. So we drop that in. We come down here. Is it a plugin, a theme, or web host? We plan on looking at other types of changelogs in the future. And then this is the meta I talked about earlier. The version number of your plugin requires WordPress. Your homepage URL, tested up to WordPress version, requires PHP version. That's the meta, right? So now we have the changelog name, our changelog content, and then we have the changelog details. Then we're going to go ahead and just click publish. With that in place, we can go over, let's go pages. Let's create a new page we're going to use throughout this video called changelog. Now, we're going to use the block editor. We're going to use a slash that leans to the right, and we're going to look for, you can type in changelog or search for it. With that changelog block in place, we can select it. Over here on the right-hand side for the source, we can choose that changelog that we just created together. Or I want to show you this really cool feature too while we're at it, is the ability to select WordPress.org plugin. With that chosen, you don't actually have to build your changelog as we just did, right? We can come in here and just put in a slug of a plugin. So there's WooCommerce, for example. Let's try another one. Let's go Akismet. You see how it's just populating automatically over here on the left-hand side? Very, very cool stuff. Let's go changelog underscore service. Dash service, sorry. That's our plugin right there. So that is a nice way to look at that. So that's one way you can do it. But that assumes your plugin is in the WordPress repo. What if you have a premium plugin that is not in the repo and you need to display a changelog? That's where we can then change the source back over to the changelog we just created together, okay? Once that's in there, you have the ability to override the global settings. So maybe on this particular changelog, you don't want to show the filter badges, or you don't want to show search, or whatever the case may be. So you have the options to set global settings or on a per changelog basis. All right, let's go ahead and publish this and look at it on the front end. Here is the ability to search. I will search for some words. Let's go PHP. There we go. All throughout our changelog over the course of years and years, it'll go through and I'll search for PHP and return that, show you every version that you ever mentioned PHP. What if you want to filter by what's new? Just click these filter badges and it will take care of that. Okay, we have the version numbers here. This is the link where you can copy the link and send someone directly to a place in time, to that specific entry in your changelog. So maybe it's that one, or maybe you grab the link for this one. You can imagine over the years as your changelog accumulates, you might want the ability to send someone to a direct version using a link. So that's what that's for. All right, let's go back to our settings, and we should see a sign up link here. Where's that? Sign up link should be in there. Let's go back to our changelog, make sure we didn't overwrite that. That should work. Let's go back over here into our block and make sure it's toggled on. Oh, here we go. We didn't put a URL. So we've got the sign up link there. We just need to put our link to ChangelogWP. So for example, you go over to ChangelogWP and you're listed in there, which is again pulling from the repository. We also allow you to list premium plugins if you want. And if you're a hosting company, you can list. But let's go do a search for our plugin, Changelog as a service. We go over here, we grab that URL, and then now within our changelog in the block here, we paste that in, save, refresh. Now we have this button right here. And if they want to get notified of your updates to your changelog, they click that button. It drops them over at our site where they sign up for a free account and then subscribe to your plugin and optionally get email notifications anytime you make a change. So what we've eliminated here, and a couple of things we've eliminated, you don't need a separate search system anymore just to search your changelog. You don't need a notification system just for your changelogs. Both of those are built in and it's completely for free. So that's how you would do that with the block editor. We also give you the shortcode option. So if I go back over to the how-to instructions, let's say I want to display a changelog from the WordPress plugin repository and cache it for 24 hours. I'm going to come over here and just grab this shortcode, go back into this page. Let's just clear everything out. And now we're going to use the shortcode block, but you can use a shortcode element anywhere, whether it's like maybe it's in your page builder, for example, or if you still use the old widgets for WordPress, you can do that anywhere that you can paste in a shortcode. So I'm going to drop that in. I'm going to change this to our slug. So what this is saying is, it's using our short code, changelog underscore service, plugin slug equals, and then our slugin as it appears in the WordPress repo. I'm gonna go ahead and save this, refresh the home page. Boom, there you go. See it look, and then you have the ability to style all of this from the back end. Under here, under display and badges. Those are the two areas where you can change the look, right? So maybe you don't want any emojis for, say, the new badges here. Sorry, my bad. We just you can change it there, or maybe we just want to take all emojis out. Let's go show emojis. This again would be a global setting. Let's refresh. And now we see all of our badges are gone. But again, you can go in on a per short code, a per block basis, and change this as you want. And then obviously you have CSS at your disposal if you want to change some of this. To show you how some of this can look, I'll show you our changelog. So this is styled up as we wanted to style ours up here. So nice and clean. And then we also have dark. There you go. And these are available as well from our website. If you go under Changelog Builder, on this page, you're going to see free download links to get what we call Changelog skins. So if you want the light mode we use or the dark mode we use, you can grab that completely free to download. All right. Okay, so that is our plugin at a high level, but also a pretty in-depth level, I should say. So let's check out some of these other plugins. Again, this is going to be an objective look. I have no idea what we are going to see here, but let's go ahead and do this. All right, so the first one we are going to review is, other than ours, is CBX Changelog and Review Note. We activate that. We see some things here. Thanks for installing. Check plugin settings, documentation. There's also an upsell here to the free version. We are not looking at, or to the pro version. We're not looking at pro versions. So let's just click on this link for plugin settings. So with this in place, this looks more like, instead of settings, that it's actually going in to create a changelog. So let's go to settings instead. There we go. So here we can do markdown support. That's interesting. Let me do this on my other screen, if you allow me to. I'm going to take notes here. I told you this is completely objective. We're seeing if, is there something that we're missing that we may want to add? So I'm going to take some notes here. Markdown support. That could be interesting. And I'm also going to copy this note. All right, there's that. Okay, show release labels. That's pretty self-explanatory. Show release date, self-explanatory. Show release URL. Okay. Release date. Yep. Let's go there. Oh, so that's relative date. All right, we'll check that out. Group label, show the same type of labels one after the other or as a group. Let's group them. Choose the layout. We'll go with the default, but we see a classic plain as well. Append changelogs. Yeah, that sounds like something we would want to do. Let's just toggle all the settings, get them all turned on. There we go. All right, save our changes. Let's see what's under tools. Uninstall plugin data on removal. Yep, that is good to know. Reset all of the data. I'm not quite sure what all of this is doing. Reset option values in all tables. Okay, so it's kind of like a way to clean your database. It's interesting. Okay. Not quite sure about that, but we'll go ahead and move on. Let's go ahead and create a changelog. And let's just call this changelog. So it looks like it's creating, it's creating posts here. Okay. This is my changelog. And then down here, the following. Okay, so we had the global settings, but I see here. Okay, so it's kind of like with ours where it looks like you can do global settings, but then override on a changelog by changelog basis. Can I turn all of these on? All right, I'll just do this manually. I think there should be a way here to toggle all of these on, just to kind of, just like we have in the global settings options. Okay, we'll turn all of that on. We'll skip the rest of this, but it's like a post. You can allow comments, you have an excerpt, author, those types of things. It generates a short code here. It looks like you can put a featured image. I'm not sure why you would want to do that. But again, I think it's just using the post type, right? Let's publish this. Let's, I'm assuming short code is our only option here. Let's copy that. Let's create another page. Let's leave our changelog page intact. Let's create another one. It's called changelog alternative. Okay, we're going to put in the short code that they gave us. Okay, so we put the short code in and not seeing anything come out. We've got our, oh, we need to probably, we didn't add any data. Where do we add the data? Okay, here we go. Add new releases, bottom or top. Okay, that's easy to miss. There we go. Obviously, because I missed it. Release number, and this is hard to read for accessibility. I don't want to be a jerk about any of this stuff. I just pointing out a little bit helpful feedback, because we're all we're all trying to, cooperation is what I like to call it. Competition, but we're helping each other, right? Be better. Okay. It's hard to read, but it says version. So I'm going to put 1.0. Release date. Okay. Release notes. Supports markdown syntax if enabled in the settings. Okay. Release notes. This is my release note. Release URL if you have an external URL. Put something in there. New features change. Let's go. Write a new feature for added. New feature. One. Looks like we can add additional. Let's go. Fixed something. Fixed. Okay, we'll go with that. It looks like they give you the ability to reorder these. That's cool. All right, let's see if this produces something. There we go. Okay. So there's a timeline view. Let's do one more. Let's go. Let's add another release. 1.2. Let's go a different date. Let's go back in time. Release notes. New feature 2. Fixed this. Go fixed. All right, let's go ahead and save. Okay. So I'm seeing a timeline view. That's interesting because we actually had a feature request just this morning for the timeline view. I'm personally not a fan of the timeline review. I'm just not a fan. Let's just go with that. But we see the version, and then I think this is what's called the relative date. So instead of a date, it's like how long ago. I personally want to see the actual date as a WordPress agency that does support and maintenance. So I'm going to turn off relative date. So that's not really, doesn't appear to be working. I turned off relative date. Show date, yes. Okay, I'm not really sure there. Let's go back. Let's turn it off at a global level. Show release date, relative date, no. Okay, there we go. So there appears to be an issue between, maybe it's not It's maybe there is no global setting. I thought this should override, but apparently it doesn't. Okay, so not quite sure there. So that's that. Here's our notes. That's kind of cool, the ability to inject a note versus, let's go to ours. You know what? Let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to turn our plugin on as well until I see an issue, and then we'll back it out. Okay, so here's ours. Our release date is just because you don't see that in there. That's just because we are working to put ours in. We forgot to do that. We're going back to do that now. So that's why there's no dates on ours, but we're fixing that. This is in our actual changelog. It's not in our plugin settings. So we need to fix that in our actual changelog itself. But the thing we were comparing here is the release notes, the ability to inject a release note there. We've got that as well. So if we want to do an apples to apples comparison, let's just copy this. We can go over to our changelog and we come over here. Maybe we put it after the version. Let's see what they did. Kind of like after the date. Okay. I'm going to put it under the version number like that. And I think it's because it's not, I think because it's not actually part of the proper formatting of a changelog, I think we would have to go outside of that. So something like that. Okay. Okay. Okay, there we go. I told you, an objective video. I'm going to make a note of this as well. The ability to, what was this? This was, what the heck was this called? Show label. All right, I'll put something in there. I'll put like ability to add a note about the release. Okay, so that is a cool feature. I like that. I like that option. Give a little note, let's to let people know what's going on there. Okay. So what else? We see the badges. That is a cool thing, but I thought they grouped group label, show same type labels one after the other or as a group. All right, so maybe I'm thinking about this wrong. Let's go back into these, okay, and let's just randomly put some other stuff in out of maybe in different order. So let's go new feature 2, and let's go fixed something else. Okay, so down here, this is what, okay. So let's do one, let's change the fix label to fixed. Now, when we update this page, if I'm understanding this correctly, we should see 2 added stacked, and we should see 2 fixed stacked. There we go. So that's the case. What happens if you rearrange these? Okay, I see what, okay. So that's grouping them together. So if I turn this off, so it does appear that the group label, let's find out. Let's turn off group and see if this overrides the global settings. No. So it looks like everything is global. So that's an issue in my opinion. So let's turn off group labels. Now when we refresh, it should be in the order listed. So these should ungroup. There we go. Okay. So there's that. There's no ability to search like our plugin has. This is a link here to an actual separate page. See that? So there is no link like ours has to a specific place and time, but there is ability to link out, which is kind of like the equivalent. It's kind of sort of like the equivalent of ours, where you can click on get notified of updates that bring you over here, and you'll get to learn more about. You know what? Actually, it's not the same. It's not the same. I do like this. It's okay. I do like this ability to link to an external, to a source. We'll call it a source, internal or external. So it could be like a blog post. So, like for example, on our site, whenever we release an update, we add a blog post. So here we go. This is our latest blog post. So we could actually link to that, and that would be a cool use case for this right here. All right. So I like that. So it's missing. There's some issues with the global stuff, but that can be fixed. There's no search feature. There's no way to subscribe. There's no way to sort with badges between what's fixed and what's new. There's no direct link to specific changelog entries. So, but they do have the ability, the markdown support, ability to add a note to releases, and the ability to link to a source. So, pros and cons. I still would prefer ours over theirs. Also, because of how you can add change logs, you are limited here to just add a change log and drop in a shortcode. There's no way to automatically pull a plugin from the repo and have it automatically be configured. Shortcode options are very limited. There's no block. You can put it in the block editor, but you have to configure it over here first and then get your shortcode and drop that in. But there's no ability to configure it over on the block side of things. So while there are some cool features that our plugin doesn't have, I would still say I would use ours over that one. Okay. All right. So that's that. Let's see what we're going to leave open here. Let's leave all of that open. Let's disable. That was CBX changelog and release note. Not a bad plugin. Not a bad plugin. Let's go changelog manager. Complete plugin to manage changelogs and roadmaps with advanced features. CSV export, and Gutenberg integration. Ooh, we've got Gutenberg integration. All right, with that turned on, I see a changelog entry over here, a menu item on the left. Let's click on that. All right, in the changelog tab, it looks like we have a different language going on. We've got some English and some not, but I'll see if I can work through this. Okay, so down here, let's just quickly scan. Organize changes by category. Release notes. All right, this looks like a big button, but when I click on it, nothing happens. I'm assuming, okay, let's down here's where we do it, 1.0. When was this released? Name of the release. Let's go release name. Release changes, new features. New feature 1. We're going to add more. Let's go new feature 2. Let's go security fix 1. And we'll go with that. Ooh, I'm also seeing the ability to add notes here too. Release notes. I'm not sure what these buttons are going to do. I'm a little nervous that I'm going to lose my changes. I'm going to click this button. I don't know what it's going to do. Now I see the settings up here. Let me go there real quick. Interesting. Okay. Oh, translate. Yeah, I definitely want to translate. Widget position. What is a widget? Where I mean, I know what a widget is, but front end widget. Choose the default style for the widget that appears on the front end for login administrators. Okay. Let's go bottom right. We have some different styling. Let's just go with the default. It's fine. Widget configuration. You can disable this if you want. Choose the number of entries. I want to see what this thing looks like. You can customize the colors. You have shortcode options. Limit the number of versions, expanded, show type, theme, show version, order, column, show date. Ready to use examples, directions for use. Okay, so that's the settings. How do I save my settings? We didn't really change anything though, right? But I still don't see where you say, oh, here we go, save all settings. Okay. Okay, let's go back. So we filled out our new release. Put some notes in there. I'm going to click this button. I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't know what happened. Let's go to the front end of our site just to see if something pops up with that widget. Here we go, bottom right. Visible only to administrators. So is that interesting? Maybe if there's multiple administrators working on the site, I don't see a way to minimize this either. I feel like if you're communicating on a team, like this would not be really that helpful. All right. All right. I don't think I'd ever use that in real life, so I would probably turn that off. Okay, but still on. Oh no, now it says it's activated. I'm confused. So even with it, it wasn't activated, but it showed up. All right, we'll go ahead and move on. That's not a feature that I would ever use. It's just adding more weight to your site for no reason, in my opinion. But we added our information here and we saved our changes. I don't know where they went. Let's try one more time. 1.0. We've got some notes. We got our release date. Release changes. We added one here. We added another. We added something else. We put some release notes in. And I would think, I don't know what language this is, but it looks like it says publish release. But then nothing happens. It completely erases everything. Is there a block? Let's go to, let's get rid of everything here. What would it be? Changelog. Here we go. Let's refresh our page. It still thinks that old plugin is in there that we were reviewing. All right. All right. So this is their changelog. There we go. Where do you choose the changelog? Okay, I think we're gonna move on. Yeah, I don't know how else to say it. I don't think that plugin is, either I am completely misunderstanding it or it's not really ready for prime time. I don't know how else to say it, but I don't really understand it. All right. So we're going to go ahead and move on. So that was Changelog Manager. It is a 1.0 version, so that is what it is there. Let's go Changelogger, a Gutenberg block to display changelog. All right. I see a settings option right here. Let's go up there. Items per page, embed a watermark, powered by Changelogger branding. Okay, primary brand color. Here are the releases. You can add different categories, improvements, fixes, patches. All right, so we're starting for the first time to see pro upsells in some plugins. We're not going to review that stuff. Feedback is a pro version, roadmaps pro version, user authentications pro, version tracking's pro, product notifications is pro. But you can back stuff up and import it. Okay. So most everything in this plugin that I'm seeing is pro. All right, let's do a new release. How do we edit this? Okay, here we go. So put our version number in there. Is it major, minor, patch, or beta? Select product, release. Okay, you can put a feature image. New feature 1. Fixed this issue 1. Let's put a couple of features in here. New feature 2. Fix this issue 2. All right, no patches, release date, status, published. You can go draft if you want. Let's go save release. Your release notes are very short and empty. A brief summary. Okay. Yeah, I agree with that, but we're going to just roll with it. What are these icons? That looks like the edit screen. This is edit in the block editor. You can trash it. AI rewrite, generate improved title and description based on your change items. I don't think that's really necessary to use AI for that. But maybe I'm wrong. Let's go. It's probably pro version anyway. Yeah, it is. But okay, we'll just move on because it's the pro version. I'm not going to spend any time on that. I'm trying to think if that's useful anyway. It might be. I'm not really sure. Okay, let's add. Can I duplicate this? Nope. Let's add one more. We'll go really quick. 1.2 minor plugin release title. Start copying some of this. Release note, featured image, improvement, patches, release date, publish, go. Okay, so we have a minor release and a major release. We've got a little bit of a dashboard going on here. All right, view on front end to embed. That's a pro version as well. So what do we do now? I think we go to here. Let's refresh this page. Change logger. There we go. Add your changelog URL. All right, that's pro. Upload from a file. It's interesting. We are under changelogger. Add changelog URL, upload from file, plain text. So you could just drop your, but where do you actually get to select your changelog? There's another block called tabbed changelogger. Add changelog. So that's interesting. A tabbed version. No, I don't think I like that very much either. I don't know how to add, I don't know how to add the, okay, we got multiple products. I just not noticed that. One product in the free version. So that's another thing that's locked behind the paywall. Create release hub page. Oh, you got to create a special page. Continue. There we go. Okay. So that's interesting. It's kind of like an accordion style. Okay, I don't hate that. I don't hate that. I do think that these need to be color coded differently so they kind of differentiate. So again, you can put release notes in there. I think that's definitely something we're going to want to add. Okay, let's go back real quick. Make sure I'm not misspeaking here. Primary brand color, items per page, releases, category. Okay. Want to make sure I'm being honest here. Here's our usage table. So if you happen to be using their pro, this is pro version stuff. We're not in there. Okay. So I think we've got our lay of the land and we're ready to give our take on this. Going back to that previous plugin too, there was no place to put like your meta, that we talked about. The WordPress version required PHP, things of that nature within the changelog itself, and we're not seeing that here as well. It's also wanting us to create a special page, which is not the end of the world. It's creating the special page, and I don't know if you can actually. I don't know if you can change the slug of that page in control. So if I go here, my plugin changelog, is that it? Okay, that's that. Can I change this? What if I wanted this to be called changelog? I'm gonna put the same changelog slug as our other one, but let's do like changelog v2. Does the system know? Okay, it does. Good. Okay, so you could use whatever you wanted for the page name and the slug. That's it. That's good. Okay, so my take on this: there's no search. I'm just going top to bottom from what I can, from our plugin. There's no search. There's no filters. You can't filter by what's new, what's fixed. There's no ability to get notified of plugin changes or of releases. Can't get notified. There's no links. Can't link to this changelog to specific areas of the changelog. The block editor, I don't see how to add your any changelogs to the block editor. All I see is a URL, update from file, upload from file, or a plain text. So if I created this changelog, like I should be able to specify these somewhere, but I'm not seeing how to do that in the block editor. There's no styling option, hardly any styling options with this plugin and the one before. Yeah. A lot of it is hidden behind the pro. Like you can't even do the embed, like a short code embed. You just get this page. That's like in whatever it gives you on this page. Can you rearrange things? Sorry, let me close. Got a lot of pages going on here. Let's go releases. Can I rearrange these? You just change the dates. I'm guessing that would be fine. But can you rearrange what's inside of here? No. You have to remove it and then add new. All right, so that's okay. So Yeah, I think my feedback again is I would use our plugin all day, every day over that plugin as well. Way too many features are hidden behind the Pro. It's super limited. All right, let's go kill some of these pages. Let's clear out this page. This is our alternative changelog page. Okay, so that's cleared out. Save that, refresh it just to be sure. This is our changelog page. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next one. So that's called Changelogger. This next one's called Changelogger as well, but with two G's. With that active, okay, let's read this. WordPress 2.7 plus only. For many people, a changelog is a very important thing. Changelogger shows the latest changelog right on the plugin listing page whenever there's a plugin ready to be updated. Huh? Are there screenshots? Okay, that's interesting. Okay. So this is a completely different type of plugin. You see what it's doing here. So if there was an update to say our plugin, it's going to show those updates all underneath here. So, okay, so this is a completely different type of plugin. It's not even a comparison. It's limited in a million different ways, but I think this wasn't ever intended, to do what we're trying to do. This is a completely different approach. So not apples to apples. I get it. It's just not what we're doing here. So we'll go ahead and move on from that. Next up is Changelogify. With that enabled, we see this changelog menu item. I'm going to go under settings. Event sources. Select which event sources to use for generating changelogs. It can pull from simple history or WP activity log or native WordPress events. Okay. Generate release. Add new release. So this is like a post. Date range. Why would there be a range? Let's go back here to plugins. No screenshots. Plugin hasn't been updated for 4 months. Features, event sources, native WordPress events, fallback tracking for core WordPress events. Let's go here. Changelogify. So you go to the source. And the sources can be simple history, which not you have to install. You can do a native WordPress event. Yeah, I have no idea what this is. So we're gonna move on from this one too. Yeah, we're gonna move on from that one. I don't understand that one either. Next up, we have DW Picha changelog. With that enabled, we see Picha changelog over here. I don't see any settings. Let's go add new project. Maybe this is my product version 1.0. released on March 4th. Add log. This is probably our release notes. New feature. Okay, here we go. New feature 2. New fix. All right, let's try that. Actually, let's do one more. We'll go new, we'll go update, new update. Okay, I don't know what bulk, let me go ahead and publish this before we lose our changes. Add bulk log, I'm assuming. Okay, so you can like just copy and paste text into here and bulk add your changes. All right, so we've got this going. Looks like there's some templates going on, template 1, 2, 3, and 4. We can display a version, Gregorian date, and description. This is where our projects live. I thought we added a project. Interesting. Okay, there we go. Okay, so then they give you a short code. Let's go to this page. Let's do short code. All right, so here is our changelog with template 1. So pretty basic. Let's go over here. Let's just check out some of these templates. Okay, that's better. That's better. Let's do a comparison, see which one we like best. I probably would lead with that one if I was them, to be honest. Okay, there's that one, and let's do the last one here. Okay, template 4, we have, these are our release notes, our version. I'm not a fan of how it just keeps saying the version over and over again. I don't think it needs to do that. Let's go over here. Okay, so let's get rid of this one. What's the difference between these two? Version number and the date release are bigger. Let's go do one more entry. Let's go. I don't like how it calls them projects. Let's go back into here. Oh, no, I take that back. Maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay. Let's go new version. Here we go. Okay, 1.2. This is our release notes. Let's just do one new feature here just to make it go faster. There we go, update. Okay, so now we have multiple releases within our project. Let's refresh. And I think we settled on this look. Yeah, well, let's find out. I'm gonna refresh. I don't like this table look. So let's go back over here. I think we liked, it looked like it reverted us. Once we added another version, it reverted us back. So let's go here. I think template 2 is what we liked. Let's go here, template 2. Yeah, that's it. Okay. All right, that's that's as good as we can get with this from what I am seeing. That's as good as we can get. So very, very simple to use. Very simple to use. I'll give it that. Get the version number, the release date, got our release notes, we've got our badges here. Compared to ours, there's no ability to search, there's no ability to filter, there's no ability to customize your badges. There's no links, there's no any kind of links, there's no syncing up with our platform to subscribe, there's no subscribe function, no search function. I can't remember if I already said that. So our plugin, I think, objectively wins here as well. So let's go ahead and Move on. And I think we are about done. Let's see. Might have one more to go. Yeah, one more to go. Update press. With that active, we see an update press menu. Let's go to settings. Again, another plugin showing a floating widget on the front end. I don't know why you would want to do that. I would turn that off. We could look at it and see what it does. All right, we'll leave that on. So that is, with that toggled off though, all of we are in the, that's confusing. So it looks like we've got a general settings area, but we don't. We've just got a floating widget settings. Once you turn that off, then all you have is what's called private mode. Enable private mode updates will only be accessible through the floating widget drawer, not indexed by search engines. So I wouldn't use the floating widget anyway, so I would turn that off. We can import, export settings. Okay, uninstall settings. We can set up categories and tags. Tags, it looks like, you know, when it's, is it new, is it improved, that sort of thing. That's equivalent to our badges. All right, let's add an update. Just go 1.0. Add it. How do we add just categories? Let's go back. So from here, we've got our tags. We're not going to mess with categories, but add update. It's using WordPress post, the post type. Let's go 1.0. New feature. Have no idea what we're doing here. Let's. So with I've got ours pulled up here. It's like, so you just follow the format, the prefix format. But here, like, I don't even see how you just free text all of this stuff. Yeah. Okay. I think we're good to go on this one too. I feel like we've got to be missing something. It's got such a great name. Update press. Screenshots. Oh. It looks like they are relying on, where's that at? They are relying on that floating widget. Okay, let's just go with this. And you can, like we said, you can turn off, oops, sorry about that. We can turn off private mode or turn on private mode to hide it from search engines. Okay, let's look at this. So we've got this little drawer down here. Imagine you come to the site, you're a user. You can filter by categories. All right, let's add another update. Here's where okay, let's just do. All right, we're going to say in this update, we had something, a bug fix and a new feature. So I'm going to say bug fix 1, new feature 1. So it's showing the little bell. It's showing we've got 2 updates. And then we come over here. It shows our tags, bug fix, and new. And then from here, You can see how many people read that. Thumbs up, is that thumbs down, dislike? Yeah. Hmm. Then you've got in the back end, you've got some feedback and everything, like view counts and stuff. Display rules. So you've got rules on where it will display, how many updates to show, updates sort order, widget tag, show tag on floating widget. Enable the footer setting. Okay, let's see, custom drawer updates, widget position. All right, let's go ahead and save that. So here we put like a little badge that says new to kind of help draw attention. Okay, so I don't like the floating widget at all, personally. There's no ability, like looking at our plugin, there's no ability to search, there's no ability to sort, filter. There's no ability to configure the styling of these badges. They call them tags. I don't know why this one's green. This is green for new, and this one is gray. I don't see where you would even configure that. So here we added a new tag. Okay, that's why. Let's just go new. There we go. So those are both gray, but I don't know where you can't configure those. You'd have to use CSS. So this is a neat way to kind of like give notifications, but I feel like this is a feature that should be part of a changelog plugin, not the only way that it works. Like this could be a pretty cool feature, but not. It needs to be more than this, in my opinion. You get no SEO value out of. Well, you can. I don't know how much SEO value you're going to get out of a widget. I'd have to look at the source code, all that stuff. But yeah, all right. I think again, I can say that our plugin beats that one too. So closing all of this stuff down. Again, our plugin, you can search through words, keywords, all throughout your changelog. You can sort by the badges. You can fully configure the badges how you want them to look. You can get notified of updates on the ChangelogWP platform. You can add meta here. As you can see, you can link directly to specific areas of a changelog. And there's other things that I'm just not like our plugin does many other things too. What we don't have is markdown support. I don't know how important that really is. The ability to add a note about the releases is important, and that's something that will be put on the feature request list. The ability to link to a source, so like a blog post, is also going to be added to the list. But once that's done, right now, our plugin is, in my opinion, I think objectively, based on what you've seen in this video, our plugin is the best on the market, all as far as the free plugins in the WordPress repo. I would say the next in line would be the Changelog Manager. Let's go ahead and duplicate this. Let me make sure of that. Let's see, was that? Let me make sure. Let me disable some things. That one. Okay, I think we got to reconfigure, but I think it was this one that was. You know what? Now I can't remember it. I have to go back and look. But there was one at the beginning of the video where it was okay. It had the timeline, but I just can't remember which one it was. Maybe it was the very first one actually. Yeah, I think actually it was this one. Let's just find out real quick. I want to give props where props is due for the second, who I think is the second place. There we go. Yeah, so I think ours is number one, and I think, and I've seen this on a few sites actually. I haven't seen the configuration settings, but I've seen it on some sites. Yeah. So which one was it again? It is CBX, changelog, and release notes. I think is number two, but I still think it's a distant number two because it can't search. There's no filtering. You're limited on the badges, right? Am I right in saying that? The global settings didn't really appear. The granular settings, I should say, don't appear to work. At least not in the testing here. But you are very limited in what you can do for configuration. This interface isn't, in my opinion, the best, but we got it to work. But you're very limited in what you can customize. They do have the timeline feature if you like that sort of thing. I personally don't. Some do. So, yeah, I think objectively our plugin is the best on the market, and yeah, hopefully you will give us a shot, especially if you don't have a change log at all. And very important for customer trust, potential customers, customer trust. Keeping that trust going, get a change log on your site. You'll be up and running in no time with our plugin. If you are using one of these alternative plugins, then give ours a look as well. I think it's much better than the competition. Second place would be this one right here, but it's still limited. All right, I will see you all in the next video.